Welcome back. We continue live right here on the Nightly Sports Call. Bordas and Bordas Hotline. Bob Pompeani with you until 11 o'clock tonight. A couple of notes from last night's game, I thought. Number one, how does Chicago leave Jordy Nelson so wide open as they did on a touchdown right before halftime, I believe it was, where he's in the corner of the end zone and somebody forgot to account for the best receiver potentially in all of pro football next to Antonio Brown. He goes under the radar, but in the red zone, I don't know if there are more productive receivers than Jordy Nelson. And number two, if you saw the game, there was a hit by Danny Trevathan on, who was it now, the wide receiver, Devontae Adams. And it was one of the most gruesome and brutal hits that I think I've seen. And if the NFL is serious about sending the message that we're not going to tolerate helmet-to-helmet, we're not going to tolerate targeting, then he should be suspended. So far, I haven't seen anything to indicate he has been, but that was as cheap a hit as you're going to get. Right after his head, nearly ripped it off. He had to leave the game on a stretcher, went to a hospital. He's lucky that everything's going well for him today. And Trevathan, that was a terrible hit. And, you know, one thing the NFL can do is look at the college football game and use their replay to eject players. If you can stop a play, look at it, and decide that's it, he should be ejected. You do it right then and there. He should not have played the rest of that game, but he did. Didn't matter for Chicago because they got pounded by Green Bay. And Chicago is not a good football team, and it makes me wonder why the Steelers just didn't load the box, stop their run game, or give it your best shot, and let Mike Glennon try to beat you down the field, because Glennon looked terrible last night, I thought. And, you know, I heard Bill Cowher, I heard Deion Sanders say, hey, he's doing some good things, leave him in there. I'm beyond that. Chicago is not a good team. Mitch Trubisky was the best quarterback in preseason. Glennon had his shot. I'm going Mitch Trubisky if it's up to me. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. I don't know if you saw this also today, but it looks like Oklahoma City is going to retain Russell Westbrook for 5 years, $205 million. Now, you know, Steph Curry got over $200 million, the first athlete in the NBA to do that, and now it's Westbrook over $40 million a year. He's the MVP of the league. He's really good. Plus, they have new guys coming in, Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, and those two guys, you know, at the end of this coming season, they may want to test the market or stay there. And the fact that Westbrook is now signed, or will sign, will certainly help them make a decision maybe to stay in OKC. All right, let's go to the lines. We got a lot of people on there. We got Bill in Johnstown kicking us off tonight. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Yes, Bob. I'd like to know what your thoughts are related to the Pirates potentially, if they would consider re-signing Jim Benedict. I think, personally, I think he was maybe more the brains behind the pitching success here than perhaps Searage. But what I'm reading, that he's had mixed results in Miami. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, you know, the fact that Derek Jeter and his ownership group has come in and they're basically getting rid of everybody, cleaning house. Jim Benedict is a guy who is well thought of all throughout baseball. It's only been 2 years down in Miami, so I don't know how much impact he could have had on all their guys. And, yes, I've heard mixed reports, but, hey, he's out there. I'm sure a lot of teams would look at him. And if I'm the Pirates, he was once here, why not? Turned out that the Pirates ended up getting Trevor Williams as a result of that whole transaction, so that's a good thing. He had a very good season, I thought, for a rookie. So did Chad Kuhl. There have been ups and downs, but I think those two guys you can count on to at least be in the mix next year. The problem, as I saw last night with Tyler Glasnow, is he still cannot figure it out up here from a control point of view. And that, you know, has got to end. A 6+ ERA, and that's 2 years in a row if you combine a small sample size last year, bigger sample size this year, 85 in the third innings, and yet on near 7 ERA, most of it attributed to wildness. That's got to change. If Benedict's available and if they think he can help, I think they should make a play to go after him. Why not? All right, let's go out to John.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guy. How you doing today, man? How you doing?
John? Go ahead.
I want to talk about the Steelers, man. Do you think the Steelers can beat Baltimore on Sunday? Thank you.
Yes. Let's go out to Frank in Swissvale. What's up, Frank? How you doing?
Bob, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Bob, I had to run the 40-yard dash for the phone when you made this statement that Jordy Nelson might be the second-best receiver in football behind Antonio Brown.
Well, when I look at production, I don't see many better.
Who's it, Bob? 32 general managers in the NFL were polled 2 years ago. If you were starting a franchise and they went through each skill position, 31 of the GMs picked Julio Jones.
I like Julio Jones.
What he did in the playoffs last year.
I did not say his name. I said
was invisible in the playoffs. He averages ball through his career 12.
I know what he averages, and I know how good he is.
Jimmy Graham does that.
And let me tell you something. You didn't listen to any. I said he's one of the most underrated guys in the red zone, which he is. He has more touchdowns than anyone when it comes in that territory. He already has 4 touchdowns this year. If you look at last year, he had 14. He led the NFL in touchdown receptions. I think Jordy Nelson is one of the best in the game. I did not exclude Julio Jones. I did not offer up a list. I said to you that he's one of those guys, and I was making the comparison that Antonio Brown is the best. Julio Jones is definitely up there, but I was just saying that Jordy Nelson, just listen completely. I didn't say he was the best. I said he was most underrated when it comes to making touchdowns, because he is. Let's go to Dave in Uniontown. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Dave. All right, Dave, you got to stop listening, Dave. Call back. Mike in Belverna. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Okay. My wife made a suggestion to help easier people down in Texas and Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico really needs help right now, absolutely.
Right. And to collect $1 from all these people going to all these football games. That wouldn't be asking too much, and donate it to them people.
Well, whatever can be done is anything is a plus. They need help. They need it quickly. The mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico today went on the record and said if things don't happen quickly here, you're going to see something close to a genocide.
I believe that.
That's what's going on down there. They are desperate for food and supplies, and people are getting very up in arms. And, you know, when people get desperate, you never know what's going to happen. So I agree with you. I think they need help. However they get it, they should get it. Donate whatever you can. I know that on your cell phone, and we've done this, my wife and I, there are hurricane relief funds. Anything you can give would help. Hopefully they'll get some some help down there quickly. They need it. They haven't had electricity for quite a long time. All right, let's go out to James in West Mifflin. Hey, James, how you doing?
Yeah, Bob, I just wanted to mention that you said Jordy Nelson is the best receiver behind Antonio Brown.
No,
that's just what I heard, and I just wanted to point that out. Good night.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, and I meant it from a touchdown receiving standpoint, I want you to go and look at the number of touchdowns he's made the last 2 years and tell me where they are in relation to all the other wide receivers. My recollection is he led the NFL in touchdowns last year, and I think the year before he was right near the top. So, again, I don't know your definition of what makes the best receiver, but obviously Julio Jones and Antonio Brown are there, okay? But what I'm saying is my statement was Jordy Nelson is one of the most underrated guys, and the reason I said it because he was left wide open by the Chicago defense. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Let's go out to Jeff in Somerset. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? Hello, Jeff. Jeff, are you there? All right. Let's go to Larry in Beaver Falls. What's up, Larry? How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Bob?
I'm good, thanks.
I just have a comment about the Pittsburgh Pirates. I've watched the last 2 nights in which they lost, and I don't really see them being much better than they are this year than they're going to be next year. I think McCutchen will be gone, and their pitching, Cole is just like he's been all year, inconsistent, and compared to a number 1 pitcher like Strasburg, he was in a different class. And
all right, let me ask you something before you go on.
Their hitters, they hit 90 RBIs. They're just I don't see any change going into next year. Well,
it depends on what they do. And if they bring back McCutchen, which I would have no problem with, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to trade him because I don't think they want to be left with, someone who has a year left, and then you have to make a decision. And if you don't, you're going to lose him for nothing at the end of it with free agency. They'll make him an offer. It won't be anywhere near what he wants. He'll turn it down and he'll move on. So they'll trade him at some point. When is the question? And I've said this for the last 3 years. I'm not going to change it. I think that's – but if he's back and if Marte and Polanco, we once thought that was one of the best outfields in baseball. And all of a sudden, things have fallen apart for them. Polanco can't hit a long ball. He only has 11 home runs. Marte was suspended. And even with PEDs, he's only got, 7 home runs. He came back. I don't know what the deal is. He just doesn't have a lot of power. This is a team that needs power. McCutchen and Bell supplied it. Bell had a wonderful season. There's a lot to build on there. If they can get Gung back and if he can be what he was when he last seen here, That would be a good first and third combination. You know, Harrison's making $10 million. They may trade him. Who knows? If not, you could put Frazier there, although a drop-off defensively is significant at second base. So there are a lot of decisions, but it all comes down to pitching to me. And they're going to need, you're right, not just Cole to step up. Nova turned into be just below average pitcher from the All-Star break on. What is he going to be to start the year? You got Cool, you got Trevor Williams, you got Jamison Tyone, you got Glass now. If those guys can harness the talent they have and the potential and turn it into production, things can change in a hurry because starting pitching is key. We're going to take a break here pretty soon, but I'm going to take one more call before we do, and that would be Dave in Uniontown. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
Good. How are you? First-time caller. I've been watching the show from day one.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah. You there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe the Penguins have absolutely a chance to win it for the third year in a row because, I mean, the players they have, they was getting older. Bonino, they're going to be missed. Kunis, he was here for a long time.
All of them are older, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all 5 Stanley Cups, and I'll tell you what, I'm addicted to hockey. I look forward to it when it gets back in play, and they have the talent to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win 3 or 4 before the actual team breaks up.
Well, I hope you're right, and yeah, they have the potential. Every time you have Malkin and Crosby, two guys like that, thanks for the call, Dave, you're in a position where you're going to challenge every single year. Same with Chicago with Taves and Kane. They should be in a position of challenging. However, it doesn't always work that way. There are a lot of teams that have had star talent, top-heavy talent, and haven't been able to win. All you have to do is look at Washington, led by Ovechkin. They haven't been able to get it done. It's tough. 3 in a row is tough. I'm not going to kid you. I think just odds against it happening are pretty good just because it's tough to win 3 years in a row. And I also look, what was it, 2 years ago, 2016, when the Penguins won the Stanley Cup. They breezed through just about every game and every series. They were the better team each and every night. Last year, and I don't know if it's just a case of playing a lot of hockey or whatever the case may be, but last year it was a struggle. I mean, they had some opportunities to get knocked off, most notably with Ottawa, double overtime game 7. So bottom line is, it's not going to be easy, but I think they do have the talent and the depth to get it done. Injuries always play a big role in this. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be a fun season to watch. We'll take a break, come back with more right here on Pittsburgh CW.